Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master, Chaos here, and I come to you today a little bit defeated. Now, I wasn't clickbaiting you with the title and the thumbnail. Vinegar Syndrome essentially wore me down, and this is a conversation I've been having with myself for a long time. As a matter of fact, it's a big part of whether or not I would subscribe for 2022. Obviously, I decided to go forward with it, but I just think I'm out of step with Vinegar Syndrome. I just don't think I click with the mentality of the people who love it and just appreciate everything that comes out of them. I've noticed, and I'm sure you have as well, that my takes on Vinegar Syndrome titles have been far more negative. Negative is a ugly word. Let's not use that. Let's say I didn't like it. I haven't liked a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome titles for this year, as a matter of fact. I think this year's been the one that I've been like, wow, this is, I don't want any of this. And so comes July 2022, and I get a stack of movies that, except for one, all get 1-star reviews.
Well, duh.
1 star. As a matter of fact, this has been, in my opinion, the worst month ever since I've become a Vinegar Syndrome subscriber. And I've made a big decision for the channel. And I hope you'll stick around, because not only will I share my thoughts on the July package, but I've got a big announcement.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
I hold in my hand the July package, including the VSA, which I've decided to review now because I don't even think Brother Chaos should waste his time with the VSA title. I'm going to give you my thoughts on these movies. If you don't care to hear about my philosophy or what I've been going through and explaining the new direction on the channel, skip to the time below. I'm going to leave a, a chapter, so you can just get to the reviews. If you're just interested in the reviews, get to the reviews, and I'll meet you there. But if you're still here, pal, then let me unwind a little bit. I need to get some stuff off of my chest. Now, I put a lot of work into these reviews, and I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining. I put a lot of work into these reviews. Turning on a live camera and just chatting for 2 hours is way easier, and I love doing it that way, and most times I will do it that way just because the editing and all the intricacies, it's a lot of work. You gotta cut and paste, and you gotta make sure that it's not too long, but you want to get the points across, and sometimes I'll lose certain elements I wanted to mention. People are like, oh, you didn't mention this. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I had to cut it because I didn't want it to be 30 minutes long. Anyway, it's a lot of work, and based on the algorithm of how YouTube works, I haven't really seen a massive growth on the channel. Now, even if the videos were getting 10,000 views, I still think I would have the issue of worth. So I'm not basing this decision on views. Right now, my views are somewhere around, anywhere from 300 to 500. And I'm aware that I'm doing way better than a lot of my contemporaries. So as a matter of fact, from what I've done research on, I'm the only guy really covering each release separately and reviewing them. Most people are just doing unboxings or just covering sales or announcements and things like that. Me and Man v Film are the only two people that I've noticed are covering individual releases. And I've decided that the worth isn't there for me and for you. What does that mean? That means that my effort does not necessarily translate into anything that benefits the world. Now, I'm looking big picture here. Big picture. At the end of the day, the Master Chaos Theaters barely break over 500, maybe 600 views. But what am I really doing there? I'm just saying, hey, this is a stupid shit movie. Oh, stupid shit. Crap movie. Don't even see it. Don't even bother. But what am I doing there? Am I saving you money? Yes, that was my goal, is to share my opinion and talk movies and explain why I liked it and didn't like it. agree or disagree, that's fine. That's criticism, and that's the subjectivity of filmmaking and film love, film appreciation. But I've gone back and I've looked at stuff I put out years ago. Now years ago, I'm in my third year, and it hasn't grown. It's stagnated. It's disappeared. Meaning that anything I do today will become disposable in a month. That is the nature of the beast. It's the nature of YouTube. Fresh content is always going to top old content. Not many people are looking up reviews of, a fucking killer crocodile from Severin just comes to mind. So a lot of those old reviews have stagnated. And I look back at all the other channels. Analytics is a big part of this. I look back at all the YouTube channels and I say, okay, well, their videos are doing well now, but back then, so they have a whole bunch of videos that are even under 100 that no one's ever looked at. Now, that's either based on news or stuff that's timely, so people wouldn't go back to old shit. But reviews should be evergreen. At least that's the thinking, right? These movies always exist, so people will, initially always be curious about the fucking movie. But I haven't seen that. And I think it's YouTube. I think it's YouTube either hiding the content or just ignoring the content. And then every once in a while, if somebody were to look up Hell High, then, you'd get a review for it. By the way, Hell High is amazing, but I've already talked about that. So I said, why am I killing myself, figuratively, to put it out a review? For example, let's just off of this July stack. For Shriek of the Mutilated, I'm going to get the initial 500 views, and that's my core Vinegar Syndrome people that are going to watch the Master Chaos Theaters. And then maybe it'll do better. Last month, 2 months ago, was the first time I broke 1,000 with Master Chaos Theater. That was a big deal, because I had done that before. It was Thriller and the drive-in double feature, I believe. It was a big deal, because I'd never broken 1,000 before. They've always stagnated. Severin stagnates. If I put a female executioner, I think, last time I checked, hasn't moved past 500 last time I checked. So, Severin stagnates. Vinegar Syndrome grows better. But the problem there is, I just don't think I'm in step with Vinegar Syndrome's releasing strategy or whatever they think is worth our time. And I just don't think it's worth my time to talk about it. I just don't think it's worth my time. I don't think it's worth your time. I don't want to take up your time talking about Shriek of the Mutilated when, in my honest opinion, this movie doesn't even deserve to be watched.
No! God, please, no! No!
I need you to understand what's going to happen with the channel now. The Master Chaos Theaters, where you expect every Vinegar Syndrome release to be covered. I'm sorry. I hope you want to unsubscribe. I really hope you'll hang in there with me. But if you don't, then I'll understand what kind of subscriber you were, and we'll part ways. It's fine. Hopefully you'll hang in there with me. But I will not be covering, official announcement, I will not be covering every Vinegar Syndrome release moving forward. In individual installments. Master Cast Theater installments. I will not be doing that. I will, however, unless something is a fucking garbage, and I don't even want to talk about this, I'll just ignore it. But what I will be doing, however, is a bulk review. So I may have put up the poll, hey, what do you want me to review first? But it'll be sort of like what we're doing today, where I'm going to review all of these at once and be done with it. And in case you're wondering, I don't think I'm subscribing. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm not subscribing next year for Vinegar Syndrome. I just don't think I'm the guy for Vinegar Syndrome. And I don't like to be negative. And I don't like to be cruel. And I don't like to be mean. I'm a filmmaker. I know it's hard to make movies. So, it's one of those things, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I agree with that when you're talking to people. But when you're talking about art, discussing art is important to have different opinions. And it's important to have different points of view. Because maybe I see something you didn't see, or you see something I didn't see. I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't realize that. That's interesting. That does shift things for me. My appreciation has expanded. But sometimes it's just not fucking worth it. It is just not worth it. And I'm gonna save you time, and I'm gonna save me time and stress. Like, how the fuck do I talk about this piece of shit without ranting and sounding like a maniac? Because I don't want to do that. The world's so ugly, you know, and cruel. I want this to be a fun place to hang out and talk about movies. So let's fucking do that. Effective immediately, Vinegar Syndrome will not be covered in detail here in terms of individual releases. I will, still be doing the monthly reveals with BC. That'll still be happening live. You'll join me for that. Obviously, Black Friday coverage. And, you know, I will still be doing Mail Day Mondays with Mistress Chaos up until my subscription expires. And then, starting in 2023, I'm going to be like everybody else. I'm just going to buy what I want. Here's the trick. Here's the thing they don't tell you. Most of the stuff Vinegar Syndrome releases is available for TBYB. So, why the fuck am I paying for these things when I can just look it up, see it, know I don't like it, and move along? And I may do that next year if I've TBYB'd something and say, hey guys, I've TBYB'd these releases, and I can give you just brief thoughts on what's coming up, and like, hey, I didn't like it, this is why I didn't like it. But it may look better on Blu-ray, but it's still a stupid movie. So that's what 2023 is going to be like. But for the rest of the year, guys, don't expect breakout reviews. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I've been holding on to that for a while now. And this decision, this month just fucking broke me, man. I was just like, this is... How do I even talk about these Jess Franco movies? They're so fucking empty. It's such a waste of your time. And then, I should probably, I'll leave this for last, but this is the movie that did it. This is the movie that sent me down the spiral and cemented my decision. I'll save my thoughts on this one for last. I know I'm going to be in the minority on this one. It is what it is. Let's get to the reviews. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I really appreciate you guys letting me blab. Let's talk reviews.
Waiting.
Welcome to the review portion of the video. If you've just skipped here, I do suggest you go back and listen to me explaining the new direction of the channel. I'm not going to mention it here, but I do suggest you spend some time with me and understand what we're going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing moving forward. But for the most part, I will be giving my thoughts on the Vinegar Syndrome titles. If I don't mention something, you know, I will say during the stream, oh, I saw that, it's stupid, or I saw that, it's really good, you should get it. If something deserves a breakout, I will cover it individually. Oh my god, you guys gotta fucking hear all about, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then I will do a breakout. But for the most part, the reviews are gonna go like this. Cyber Vengeance, the latest VSA number 25. Stupid garbage. Stupid, awful garbage, VR bullshittery, kind of a most dangerous game type of thing, where a guy's trapped in VR and some guys are hunting him through different timelines, and it's not about time travel or anything like that. It's not even really about vengeance. It sucks. 1 star. Don't bother. Next, Jess Franco takes a shit in your eyes with 2 movies, Kiss Me Monster and 2 Undercover Angels. You can tell I'm a little bitter. These movies really fucking burned me out. Diana and Regina are here, and I honestly couldn't give a shit. They're strippers, they're detectives, they're wasting your time. 2 Undercover Angels, also known as sadist erotica for some fucking reason, is 1 hour and 19 minutes. I've never met a movie where so much is said and so little is actually achieved. This movie is almost wall-to-wall exposition dumping, and I'm still not sure what the hell happened in it. Here's what I've gathered. The Red Lips Detective Agency, which consists of 2 flighty young women, are searching for missing girls that may or may not have been killed by a local artist. This is not a very good mystery, or a detective story, or a sexy movie, or a sleazy one, or any kind of a horror picture, save for the fact that there's some kind of a werewolf henchman. In my honest opinion, this is swinging 60s trash, and not in the good kind of trash. This is the take it out to the curb kind of trash. Also, don't expect a lot of nudity, despite this being a Franco movie. There's one nude scene, but it's a girl dancing in a cage, and it's all fairly frivolous. Frivolous is the word, baby bird. 1 star for 2 undercover angels. This is terrible garbage. Pointless, boring, dumb, and offers nothing. Nothing! Oh, God. I really hated this. I knew I was going to hate it, and I was correct. Really hated it. Well, let's talk about Kiss Me Monster, which is kind of almost exactly the same movie. Prepare yourselves for a repeat of garbage. Kiss Me Monster runs 1 hour and 19 minutes. A direct sequel which offers more of the same, for better or worse, in my case, worse. Told in flashbacks for some unknown reason, which takes all the tension out of the story because we know the girl survived the ordeal by telling it this way. This one has an especially stupid script. In an opening scene, a man shows up at the door of the Red Lips Detective Agency and dies. Their next move is to drive him to the beach and toss him over a cliff. What the hell is that? Why would you do that unless you kill the person yourself? It makes absolutely no sense, but it speaks to the whole movie. And I think that's the main problem with the movies. They're just so frivolous and stupidly put together. It is also astonishingly badly directed, which boggles the mind and makes me wonder why anybody would bother to restore these movies. As for the plot, about half an hour into the movie, one of the characters says, "I just don't understand what's happening." To which the other one responds, "You don't need to know." I took that as Franco saying, "Just sit back and let me shit on screen." According to IMDb, however, Kiss Me Monster finds the girls moonlighting on a striptease world tour. But no sooner do they hit the stage than the girls are up to their pasties in stiffs, Satanists, and sapphic sadists, all after a secret formula for human clones. But if the Red Lips can get it first, will they be able to survive the dangers lurking around every corner? Yes, absolutely. They survived no problem. And human clones? What the fuck? I didn't catch that at all. Clones? This thing was about clones? Garbage. 1 star. Kiss Me Monster. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This whole thing is terrible, terrible, terrible. So terrible, in fact, that the 2 people I usually pawn these off to at a discount have turned me down. So you, dear viewer, if you're interested in getting your hands on this at Black Friday price, contact your old pal Master Chaos. Email in the description. Please, please, I don't want this anymore. It hurts me. I like Bigfoot. I like Bigfoot quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I'm unapologetically a Bigfoot believer. This movie was one I'd seen years and years ago, and I thought I had fond memories of it. Boy, I was incorrect there. First stupid thing, they called Bigfoot in here Yeti. No, idiot. The Yeti does not exist in America. That is not the name for him in America. Now, if the guy were a real anthropologist, Bigfoot, scientist, hunter, he would know that. But of course, the people who made this movie did not. Now, as a Bigfoot enthusiast, I know it, and it sticks in my craw. It sticks in my craw real hard, but that's not why I didn't like the movie. I didn't like the movie because it was fucking lame. Oh, so lame. Shriek runs 1 hour and 27 minutes. Behold, one of the most awkward movies ever made. I'm not over-exaggerating. This movie is dripping in awkwardness. Awkward performances, awkward shots, awkward reactions, awkward plot details, etc. I'm talking about awkward things like boom shadows, rain in one shot but not in the other, people sleeping with their glasses on, and a mute, mentally handicapped Indian man played by a Jewish guy. This Bigfoot movie has a lot in common with another Bigfoot movie, Night of the Demon. In both movies, college students head into the woods with their professor to seek out the truth behind the legend of Sasquatch. Here, the foppish Dr. Prell takes his students into the woods in search of the missing link, or as he calls it, the fucking Yeti. So get ready to watch boring-looking people walking disinterestedly through the woods. Hooray! I won't spoil it for you here, although I really, really want to, so I can rant about how fucking stupid it is. But this movie has a trick up its sleeve that you won't necessarily see coming. And that's because it's so moronic, it couldn't possibly be what's up. But it is, and it negates almost everything that happens in the movie. It's one of those movies where certain characters go through so much trouble for absolutely no reason when things could have been settled far more simply. It's not a bad twist. In fact, it gives the movie something much more interesting to hang its hat on. The problem is, we waste so much time going in one direction that when it zags, when it should zig, it makes everything we've been watching completely superfluous. And my biggest pet peeve is when a movie wastes my fucking time. Stupid fucking shit happens for stupid fucking reasons, and I absolutely hate that. Honestly, if the film were better made and much more compelling, then I probably would have been okay with it. But it's such a piss-poor production and so dull on the surface that I couldn't give the movie any kind of leeway. You guessed it, although I've already said that in the beginning of this video. 1 star. 1 star for Shriek of the Mutilated. So boring. Boring, and the ending makes absolutely no sense when you take into account the first half of the movie. Why would the ending... I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry. Why would the ending happen? Let's say the last third act. Why would the third act happen if the first act happened? The first 2 acts happened. Or why would the first 2 acts have happened the way they did if the inevitable outcome was the third act? Why? Why? Because you're fucking trying to trick us, and that's not cinema. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, cinema is trickery, yes, in the grand scheme of things. But storytelling, I think, that's probably what I meant. Storytelling, the root of storytelling is twisted here in a way that is unrewarding. A good example... The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense, the reveal that... he's not a ghost in this. The Bigfoot's not a ghost, but whatever. You know what I mean? In Sixth Sense, the reveal he's a ghost, but it's done in such a way that it makes what we've seen more rewarding, more impressive. Here, the reveal makes what we've just seen stupid, dumb, pointless, a waste of time. Let's round it out with righting wrongs.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
I know I'm going to be in the minority here, and, well, that's just the way it's got to go. This is the movie, really, that's going to push me off the rails when it comes to covering Vinegar Syndrome and me realizing, you know what, I think I'm just not in step with what they release. So, righting wrongs. Before I get into it, let's look at the packaging, because... it bears looking at it. They've decided to really blow it out this time for this movie, and I just don't understand why they would bother. This isn't, police story. This isn't fucking hard-boiled, which I would understand blowing it out for hard-boiled. This isn't even, Super Cop, Yes Madam, or Yes Ma'am? I forget what it's called. The Michelle Yeoh one. This isn't any of those, but this is a movie that a lot of people have talked about. Most people know it as Above the Law. First off, packaging. Let's look at this artwork. Look at this. I mean, let's be honest here. Artwork is artwork. It's all about the movie. But this is atrocious. Look at this. This is awful. This looks like indie comics that you would see at like Artist Alley in some convention. And that's not knocking indie artists, but I mean, this is just not good. This is ugly. Ugly. Why would they put this on the cover? I don't understand this at all.
It's awful.
It's going to live in a box. I'm not really going to look at it, but put your best foot forward. The slipcover is, doesn't fare that better. Look at this. I mean, it's messy as shit. I mean, this all happens in the movie, but looking at this feels like, oh, they're trying to oversell the shit out of this movie. But why would they need to oversell it? Let me explain why they needed to oversell righting wrongs. And before I give you my star rating, I'm going to be joined via pre-recorded video by my pal, Wet Movie One, and my son, Little Master. And they're going to give their thoughts on the movie because we all watched it together. Needless to say, we were a little disappointed. Righting Wrongs is presented in 3 different cuts. 100 minutes, 96 minutes, and 92 minutes. I watched the 96-minute version because that was recommended to me by Justin LaLiberty. Compared to some of the stuff coming out of Hong Kong and elsewhere during this era, this super talky action picture isn't really much to celebrate, to be completely honest. Yun Biao and Cynthia Rothrock are the star attractions here, but there's barely any action, and when there is action, it is well choreographed. However, Cynthia is substituted by a male stunt double every once in a while, and it completely takes me out of the movie. It's hard to suspend disbelief when you can't even believe that the character is doing the fighting on screen. It also makes it a lot less impressive than it should be. Allow me to show you a clip. What if I told you that that person jumping off the railing onto that other person was supposed to be Cynthia Rothrock?
What? No.
Obviously it's not. It's an obvious man. The biggest problem with this movie, and it's something that again, I know stunts are dangerous, people get hurt, and actors, it's a liability. If an actor gets hurt, movie's fucked, you can't shoot. I get it. And I don't expect everybody to be Jackie Chan. Yun Biao does his own stunts, Sammo does his own stunts. I don't expect Cynthia to fucking take that jump and potentially break her neck. I get it. But they couldn't find a female stunt double? They couldn't find another martial artist female, which there's got to be a million. They couldn't find one to put on a wig and at least look like a woman. They're fun and they're exciting. But there's one fight here that involves two women. The male stunt doubles in wigs. It looks like a. And when we do get the fights, they're fun and they're exciting. But when the girls are involved, and there's one fight here that involves two women. The male stunt doubles in wigs, it looks like a bunch of stuff and whatever, but even the stunt doubles are brought in for random shit like jumping over a table. Like, why couldn't Cynthia jump over a table? Like, that's an easy stunt. I don't know. That was a big sticking point for this movie for me, that she was taken out of most of the cool stuff and replaced by a man, which is a dumb fucking decision, and she's made the movie look cheap overall. Something that isn't 100% explained, and he kind of comes in late in the game and all of a sudden takes over the movie. I'm not sure what the hell that was and why that happened. And whatever the hell he was doing, maybe that doesn't bother anybody else, but it bothers me. That's a big reason why this movie didn't work for me. The story is a typical overcomplicated mess about a lawyer taking justice into his own hands, while another story thread has Cynthia investigating the murders caused by the lawyer. And a third subplot is about a dirty cop who is doing something that isn't 100% explained, and he kind of comes in late in the game and all of a sudden takes over the movie. I'm not sure what the hell that was and why that happened. And whatever the hell he was doing, if it was explained, I did not absorb it. We know, or it leans on inappropriate comedy that doesn't fit the tone of the film. That's the one thing I really don't like about Chinese films, at least of the older ones I've seen, is there, even after something really cool happens, we get 10 minutes of dull dialogue scenes that seem to go on forever and seem to be retreading old plot points we know, or it leans on inappropriate comedy that doesn't fit the tone of the film. That's the one thing I really don't like about Chinese films, at least of the older ones I've seen, is their humor. It is just so off-putting. I hate to say it, but it's kind of a nothing movie, and despite the ridiculously awful ending, and all three cuts have different awful endings, I don't think I'll remember very much about this movie.
It was like, for example, yay, action, and then, boing, talk.
Okay, guys, we just finished righting wrongs. How do we feel about this?
Bad. It was like, for example, yay, action, and then, boing, talk.
Okay, Wet Movie, how do you feel, man?
Artwork could do some better work. This is a movie I thought I might have seen, but I haven't until now. I'm a big fan of Yun Biao and Cynthia Rothrock. Movie looked amazing on this presentation, the Blu-ray and everything. But wow, just like Little Master said, a lot of talking, a lot of drama that just is pointless. Some badass action sequences, where you can see, obviously, the stuntmen performing certain stunts.
Yeah, that was the worst part, right? I mean, I think, obviously they can't do all the stunts, but it's like they couldn't find a female stunt double. They can't find a black stunt double. It's weird. Yeah,
it's like there's a black guy fighting somebody, then they had a stunt double for him for a second of a white guy.
They saved the last guy. It's like that.
But yeah. it's like what we were talking about, the humor. We don't get this kind of humor. I think it's, because obviously meant for different audience, different time. I don't know. It's just, I'm glad I didn't buy it. I'm glad I'm glad your dad had, has the Vinegar syndrome.
Subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasted a lot of money so I can watch this. Thank you.
That
So-
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're right. I mean, this is something that we were excited to see, but I think maybe you'll agree with me that the biggest letdown was that there wasn't as much action as I guess we expected there to be. There was just so much talking that you zone out because you don't really even care what's happening. You're just waiting for the next fight scene.
Yeah, then when the fight scene happens, it's like, do we care anymore? There's a shocking thing at the end. We're not gonna say, but something happens to a main character. It's just kind of like, oh, that was out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really fit because the movie's fairly goofy. I mean, it tries to be serious, but then it has like goofy guys crying in the corners. There's guys eating like chicken.
Yeah, all the cops in the forest are just like in there eating buckets of chicken.
The Master's lost it.
That's my impression of the people who are crying.
Oh, what about that old guy? I don't know. This movie, I like Cynthia Rothrock and stuff, but I don't see myself watching.
Yeah, and even she's barely in it, honestly. So if anybody's going to get it for Cynthia, she's barely in it, and it's a stunt double most of the time.
Yeah.
It's really more of a lawyer story than it is an action extravaganza.
And the lawyer story sucks.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So out of 5 stars, what would you guys rate it?
1.5.
Okay.
Only because of the action scenes.
1.
1? Okay.
It's really bad.
Wow. That's really low. I'm probably not going to go that low, but
Yeah.
do you think you'd ever rewatch this?
No, but I'd rather watch Chompers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chomper's Little Masters movie coming soon.
Yeah, we're gonna put a list of people who are gonna come.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by the theater, guys.
Bye. No.
Bye.
You know what sucks about this theater? There was no popcorn.
Oh,
I know. Where was the popcorn?
Yeah.
I know.
bye.
Bye.
I was expecting something really fucking great. I mean, honestly, when people talk about a movie like this, I'm expecting big things. Why wouldn't I? I love movies. And we have expectations built up. I think my main issue is that I was just disappointed. I was expecting something really fucking great. I mean, honestly, when people talk about a movie like this, I'm expecting big things. Why wouldn't I? I love movies. And we have expectations built up. Oh, Hong Kong movie, this shit's gonna be crazy. You expect certain things. You get a very disappointing package. Now, I liked it, I'd say, appreciated it a little bit more than Wet Movie and Little Master did. I think they were kind of harsh with their 1 star. This is the one that's going to get a little higher for me. But only because I feel bad giving it anything lower than this. I'm going to go with 3 stars for Righting Wrongs. It was just okay. I just don't understand what the big fucking deal is. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's that interesting. And because of that, I decided not to focus all my attention on Vinegar Syndrome releases, because if people are going fucking bananas over this, then I guess I'm just not the audience. 2 stars. I'll drop it. 2 stars. I'm gonna go 2 stars. 2 stars for Righting Wrongs. I'm dropping it down to 2. I just don't think it's I just don't think it's a great film. And I surely will never rewatch it again. But it does have an audience. I know my buddy Tony of the Dead loved it. Bullet Blake, another buddy, loved it. I didn't love it. And thusly, I've decided to divorce myself from Vinegar Syndrome reviews. What you're saying, MC, you did just review the Vinegar Syndrome slate. I did. But I did them in bulk, and I did them quicker than I normally do. And this is the last time I will be doing that. And I know what you're saying, MC, you did just review the Vinegar Syndrome slate. I did. But I did them in bulk, and I did them quicker than I normally do. And this is the last time I will be doing that. If I watch something like Two Undercover Angels, and it's just so terrible, I'm not even going to bother talking about it. Unless somebody brings it up in a comment or during a live, chat, somebody, drops a message. Hey, did you see Two Undercover Angels? Is it worth getting? Then I'll say no, it wasn't. Like I said, if it's something that's groundbreaking, jaw-dropping, holy fuck, like, you know, deadly games, blood games, something like that, then I will spotlight that movie. Like, guys, you know, check this out. It's really good. If it's something that's really atrociously bad, I feel like I need to warn you guys, like Tiger Claws, then I will also spotlight that in a separate video. But for the most part, I'll either do it in bulk or not at all. And with that, I bid you adieu. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I hope you're well. I know we probably disagree on righting wrongs. I hope you don't unsubscribe with the new change in plans here on the channel. But if you do, you do. Fair weather friends and all. But I hope you'll hang out because there's going to be more content coming. I'm not done. But I think I just want to focus on stuff that's going to matter more to you and to me. And I think worth is important. And with that, I bid you adieu. I love you, my friend. Subscribe if you have not already. If you're new here, I would love to hang out with you again. Let's do it to it. But for now, see ya on the flip side.